hello everyone. I know it's after lunch, everyone is a little bit sleepy, so let's start with a little exercise here. So I would like you to raise your hand if you have ever used ng-new command. Okay, I think we're in the Angular conference, makes sense. How about nx-generate? Okay. nx-build? Fantastic. Congratulations, you have already used generators and executors. So you can give yourself a big round of applause. Okay, nice to meet you. My name is Kasia. I'm a Microsoft MVP. I work as a software developer at Highland. I graduated computer science and blah, 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 all this stuff. I'm also a mom of a 2-year-old and 2 furry cats. So, just before we get into the topic, quick recap. What is NX? So, if you go to the NX website, you will see that NX is a powerful open-source technology-agnostic build platform that's designed to efficiently manage code bases of any scale. So, yeah, what it actually means to me, primarily a monorepo management. So I can have multiple applications and, even more importantly, multiple libraries in my single repository. I can split my code in a way that it makes sense. Also, there is all the computational caching, dependency graph, incremental builds, which makes it easier to develop because you don't have to rebuild all of the code with every little change that you make. And one thing that I want to focus on today is the tooling integration and extensibility. So, because I like learning by doing, let's jump into the use case that I want to show you today. So, we are building a DC comic fandom. Every superhero is going to have his own space. So the Green Lantern has his own fandom, the Batman, the Aquaman, and so on and so on. And we have this one landing page when all of these superheroes live. If I go to my code, the structure is as follows. I have one application, the DC fandom, and I have a library for every superhero. I also have this JSON file, which describes my home page. So all of these superheroes at the home page are retrieved from this JSON file, which has the route, the image, the name. And I have, of course, my route, because it's all in the Angular application, so I need to register my route. OK, and now my task is to add a new superhero fandom. So I have my code here. Let me start the application. Yep, npm start. I have only one superhero at the moment. OK, I can click into here. I can navigate to the fandom, back. OK, and now my manager wants me to add a new fandom for a new superhero. So how can I set it up? Well, option A, I can just copy-paste existing code from what I have. Rename, remove, adjust. Yeah, I must admit I did it in the past too, but let's face it, it's not a very sexy way to do it. It's 2025, so I can ask AI, hey, let's generate it for me. But then I have to clean it up, I have to adjust the code, I have to get rid of any too creative code that LLM generated for me. But yeah, this would work. Option C. I could use this built-in NX library generator. So I just run the command nx-generate, or I can use the UI. And then I would have to add those additional configuration, like add this entry to items.json, add the routing, scaffold the fandom page. Yeah, this would work. But if we add more and more of this, there is a lot of repeatable work. So our developer sits there and he thinks, like, how can I make this process better? But because our developer is in fact a super developer, he knows that he can generate a generator. Yeah, so to enhance our NX workspace with generators, first you have to add the plugin capability. And then you can generate a plugin. I will generate it with this command, and well, generate a generator. Okay, let's do it. So I am in my code base. I have to, let's just collapse all these things, and I will generate a plugin. Okay, it will prompt me about the linter, the test engine. Okay, and there we go. We have the tools, plugin, and if we look into the project.json, we will see that it is just another NX library, and it will be built with the TSC, the TypeScript compiler. Okay, so we have our plugin, and now I can create a generator inside. I like to have everything in order, so I will create a directory for this to organize it, and well, I will generate it. So I will use this nice UI. Let me just collapse this for a second. And it will ask me for a path. So that's going to be a hero lib, and the description can go like a hero library generator. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. We have a generator created. So if we look inside, what we have a schema file, and this is what describes the properties that we can add when we run this generator. So by default, it's only the name. We are going to be needing a bit more. So I will just define the schema. I will prompt my user to give me the name of the library, optionally the directory, the path to the image, and the name of the application where we want to scaffold this hero application. That's going to be a DC fandom by default for my repository. Next, we need to have this schema reflected in the TypeScript. So I will do here, extend this. Okay, I have my schema in the TypeScript. It reflects what I have in the JSON. And also I have this extended option with the route, import path, component name, and selector that is going to be derived from whatever users gives us when running this generator. So now we have a schema defined. We can go to the actual generator. So by default, this generated generator by NX will create a library hard-coded in the libs folder. It will add a project configuration, which means it will create this project.json file with a project type library, and it will generate files. And it will generate files from here, from this files folder. So here on the left-hand side, I have the files src index template. And this is very easy. Of course, we would need something better for our superhero. So now I'm going to delete these files. I'm not going to need it. And let's do an actual implementation. So I am going to remove it all here. I don't need it. And I am not going to reinvent the wheel, because the whole beauty of the NX generators is that you can combine them. So from my generator, the hero lib generator, I can call the Angular library generator. So it will do all the hard work of scaffolding the Angular library for me. I am going to import it so that it knows what to call the NX Angular generator. I need to make sure that the schema I pass is compliant with whatever the Angular library generator expects. So I will normalize the options. I need to import the schema. The schema must be the library, the Angular generators library schema. I will also use some util from the NX dev kit. OK, and let's normalize the options. OK, oh, sorry, not this one. Yeah. So I will derive those route, import path, component name, and selector from the name that user provided with me, so that I will end up with those generator options. OK, so at this point, we have generated an Angular library with some predefined options. So we don't need to say that it's buildable, publishable, and so on, because I kind of already defined it in my hero lib generator. But that's pretty much it. What I would like my generator to do, I would like it to automatically update this items.json file and add this additional superhero inside. So let's implement it. OK, let me just go here. And to modify this JSON, it is pretty straightforward, because JSON has a fixed structure. It's always an array or an object, and you can pretty easily navigate around this file. So in order to modify it, first, I have to locate this item.json. So again, I will use this helper util from NX dev kit to get the projects, get the path where it is, find this item.json file, and I will use the update.json method, again, from the NX dev kit, that will just take the JSON and push another element into this structure. And then this will override this JSON. OK, so we are good with this one. But to be fully happy and have it fully automated, we need to modify also the up routes. And here, we are no longer dealing with JSON file, but we have a TypeScript file. So this is a bit more tricky. What we could do here, well, we could do some fancy regex, like regular expression. But let's face it, it's not very nice. Like, it can change. It can be misleading. So actually, we can analyze this syntax tree to find the right place to insert new code. So how can we analyze the syntax tree? Well, if we paste the contents of these routes into the abstract syntax tree viewer, we will see that it has an import declaration on the top and another one, which makes sense, I think. Then we have a variable statement, a variable declaration list, variable declaration, and array. So we need to go through this tree, find the array, and insert another object literal expression into the array. And how can we do it in the code? Well, as always, there is more than one way to do it. The way I chose to do it is I used the JS CodeShift library. So it is a library that allows me to go through this abstract syntax tree and insert an element wherever I like, or in general, modify the TypeScript file as I need it. I am going to add those imports so that it doesn't shout at me. And going step by step, I have to locate my uproutes file first. Then I read the contents, and I parse the contents with my JS CodeShift. And actually, you can even do it without any library. I find it easier to use this helper library to modify the syntax tree. But basically, you can see I'm going through the tree. I'm finding the name declaration, the variable declaration, the array. And then into the array, I am inserting the new node that I create from the template. OK, so at this point, if I call this in my main generator, I have the uproutes modified. I have items.jsons modified. But I would still want to at least generate this basic component. So let's do this file generation. OK, so as you remember, I said before, there is this files folder, which I'm calling here. And I would like to generate scaffold, this basic fandom page. So I have already prepared those basic files just to speed things a little bit up. And I will show you this in a moment. I'm just copying it here. And I have this component template. There is an HTML template. So there is no syntax highlighting for the template, but you can see that there is like the material components inside, the H2 selector. There is this placeholder here that will be replaced by the variable. Then there is just some CSS template and the template for the component. And the selector is created dynamically. The template URL is also derived from the component name, style URL, and even the name of the class. OK, let's make sure that it is also called. And at this point, we should be able to generate our hero with just one command. OK, so now the moment of truth. I will go to my libs. There is my green lantern. Let's generate a new one. OK, this is good so far. The Visual Studio already sees my new generation. At the top, it has also the description I've just inputted. So I will select it. My generate UI matches my schema. So I can input the image. Let's do a Wonder Woman JPEG. Then the name of the library will be Wonder Woman. The target app is pre-filled. OK. I could also provide a directory, but it's optional, so it will be generated in the wherever I execute this command. So this is in Workspace lib. Let's see, there is a dry run. OK, no errors. That's good. Generate. OK. We have another folder here. Items.json. Updated. That's good. App routes. Updated. OK. Build errors. Nope. OK. So, yay, we have Wonder Woman. And I can navigate, and I have already this lorem ipsum scaffolding, so I can get on with my fandom implementation. OK, I see you. You might be like sitting here and thinking like, what are you showing us? That's so 2020. We have AI now. What do we even need it for? Well, actually, why don't we combine it with the power of the AI-generated code? So on my computer, I have also configured the NX MCP server. So actually, let's ask Copilot to generate a new library for me. I would say, please, because you have to always be nice to AI. You never know. Generate a Batman hero library. OK, this is the moment of truth. You never know what AI will run out. But OK, it actually ran the MCP server. So we know it ran the NX Workspace. It actually ran the NX Generators tool. So it knows there is this HeroLib tool. That's good. OK, and wow, so far so good. So it actually launched the Generate UI for me, and it pre-filled all of the fields. So we have the Batman JPEG, Batman, DC Phantom. OK, so far so good. OK, let's generate. And we have Batman. So you can use those generators still in 2025 and combine it with the agentic code generation to make sure that what you generate is actually what you expect it to be. So no randomness, but more predictable result. OK. So is a library the only thing you can generate? Well, obviously no. You can generate pretty much anything. So we can generate custom libraries, as I showed you, the whole applications in the NX Workspace. You can generate single components, just like you use the ng-generate component. You can generate even a single file, like whatever you need. And the beautiful part of it is that you can package your tool into an NPM package, publish it to the registry, and you can reuse it across different workspaces. So you can even create a whole preset for creating a new NX workspace. OK, so these were the generators. And what about the executors? So the executors are the pre-packaged node scripts that can be used to run tasks in a consistent way. Well, this is the definition. So let's actually create an executor. And how are we going to create it? Well, obviously, I'm going to generate it. So back to my tools. I have my tools, the src. I will create a new directory for the executors. And I will generate an executor. Let me just pull it a little bit down, close the AI window for now. And let's do an executor that is called call Batman. When in trouble, call Batman. OK, let's generate it. OK, so far so good. And there we go. So just like with the generators, we have a similar structure. There is schema to pass in arguments to your executor. There is a TypeScript version of the schema. And there is the implementation part. So let's implement the call Batman. OK, it's a very easy, simple, straightforward executor. And now how we can use it? Well, executors should be executed against a project or even the entire monorepo, but I will execute it against the project. So if I go to my project.json, I will see the targets section. And one of the targets is build. And if you look inside, there is an executor. So whenever you run build, you're actually calling an executor. In this case, it's a TypeScript compiler. Similarly, for test, whenever I run test, it will use the nxjest executor. So I will just add another target here with my custom executor. OK. Let's do it. Let's run it. I'll just make it a bit bigger. Too big. Call Batman. OK, Batman is coming to save you. We have our executor. OK, we made it. So the generators, just to summarize, the generators let us automate the repeatable code creation, even in the era of the AI. So we can generate libraries, applications, components, files, and so on. And we can redistribute those generators as NPM packages, and actually executors as well. There is this NX DevKit package, which offers a lot of utilities if you work with this. So I suggest you use it if you decide to create your generators or executors. And finally, the executors lets you create a custom commands executed upon your monorepo. OK, so we have 5 more minutes, so let's do a voting. Please raise your hand if you think the Superman is the greatest superhero of all times. Oh, not very popular one. What about Batman? OK. And Spider-Man? Do we have any Spider-Man fans? Awesome. So we are Spider-Man guys. All right. OK, thank you so much. The slides and the code is under the QR code. And yeah.